Hey there everyone, this is Michael Dougal. I review cognitive supplements, and in this video you're going to learn about Valerian Root, which many individuals use for sleep, but it can also be used for productivity and helping you to achieve more calmness throughout the day. As for this anecdote over here, one individual mentioned they've been taking Valerian Root almost daily for about 6 months, and it helps them with anxiety, insomnia, and migraines, and helps them a lot at a dosage between 500 milligrams to 2 grams per day. So if you're unfamiliar with Valerian Root, what you should know is that it's actually a herb that's been used for centuries for the purpose of helping with anxiety, relaxation, and improving sleep quality, and its other name is Valeriana officinalis. And I actually came across this supplement because I was looking for a substitute to melatonin, because with melatonin it's great in the sense of it gets you to sleep fast, you're able to be very calm after taking it, but it's associated with negative side effects. I really didn't like the inconsistent effects that I was experiencing with melatonin. Some experiences I had were great, other experiences I would use it and I would have a really fatigued day there afterwards. Now, can I say that Valerian Root replaced melatonin? Probably not, but it's a decent substitute in that it definitely does help to calm you down. What I notice when I use Valerian Root is following ingestion, I feel somewhat tired, I feel a bit more drowsy, and that's the reason why it's not typically advised for you to drive after using Valerian Root. And the mechanism of action with respect to Valerian Root is actually very interesting because it works on the specific neurotransmitter GABA. GABA has a lot to do with relaxation and better coping with stress levels, and with Valerian Root, what it actually does is increase your levels of GABA in the brain. And although this is very exciting that this supplement can better potentially help you cope with stress, it's most commonly going to be used for winding down at night. And this is a great paper that was done on Valerian Root, Valerian for Sleep, a systematic review and meta-analysis where they compiled a lot of studies together to better determine whether or not the supplement works. And they have this neat table over here where they actually organize a number of studies and determine to what extent the supplement worked. We can see the first study where they had 270 participants with the mean age of 41 years old, and they actually did this study on individuals that were experiencing anxiety or insomnia that was from internet advertisements, surprisingly. And what they had found was, although 89% of the Valerian group did see improvement, 86% of the placebo group also saw improvements, which could have meant that the individuals were ingesting something thinking that it was working, and then perhaps they adjusted their behavior accordingly. So this one did conclude there was no sleep quality improvement that took place. However, if we look at this study over here where the mean age was 34 years old, there was 98 participants, and they used Valerian Root for 30 days consecutively. What they had found was that there were improvements, though there weren't improvements with everyone, and they also had the Valerian Root combined with lemon balm. Lemon balm being a very effective supplement as well for sleep. I've talked more about lemon balm in this video over here. So looking at all these studies of Valerian Root, you may be wondering, is it worth using the supplement? And I would say probably not. Most of the studies actually suggest that Valerian Root did not work for the individuals, or if anything, some of the participants saw marginal improvements. In conclusion, we can say Valerian Root does a little bit to help, not too much. In fact, most of these studies do actually say that there was no statistically significant improvement. However, there were decent improvements with some of the individuals. It's especially important to address, though, what is good sleep anyway, and how was this measured during the studies? And this is where the studies were somewhat flawed to some extent, because some of the studies were measuring sleep based on number of hours slept, whereas with some of the studies, sleep quality was measured by how long it would take to get to sleep, also known as sleep latency. And one of the positives with Valerian Root is that although it may not potentially help with overall sleep quality, it certainly does look like the research points to individuals being able to fall asleep faster with the use of Valerian Root. One of the common issues with sleep products out there is that they have the effect the following day where you feel tired, you feel this hangover effect like they call it. And so they actually looked out for this during the studies, in that they evaluated whether or not the hangover effect took place with the participants, and what they had concluded was that Valerian Root, unlike many other sleep supplements, was far less likely to have this hangover effect with the individuals, so that they could ingest a supplement, not only have a decent sleep, but feel ready to go about their following day. Now let's take a look at some of the side effects that are associated with Valerian Root, and one of the most common ones is diarrhea. Another common one is also stomach upset. I'm very fortunate that I personally don't experience any of these side effects. When I ingest Valerian Root, I feel okay. I don't really like how it makes me feel immediately, so I prefer just using it right before bed, because after you ingest it, you feel kind of drowsy. Also, the supplement doesn't have the best smell. I don't know if it's just me, but after I ingest the supplement, I feel that my breath smells really bad, whether I have the capsule form or I have the powder form. And probably my biggest issue with Valerian Root, and the reason why I probably don't use it as much as I could be, is that really it's just not that effective. There are stronger supplements out there that are also free of side effects, like ashwagandha, which I've talked about in this video over here, which also helps me to relax and helps me get better quality sleep. With Valerian Root, it's such a negligible benefit that it may make sense to use it, sure, if you have it sparingly, but otherwise you may want to consider using it with other supplements like ashwagandha, like L-theanine perhaps, or some lemon balm. Looking at this table here, we can see that they've summarized the different studies as well as whether or not adverse effects were associated with them. We can see no moderate or serious adverse reaction. Following one said dizziness and sleepiness. That's not necessarily a bad thing. That's what we're expecting with the supplement, to feel sleepy with some understanding that dizziness may happen. And I've always been a believer that the stronger the supplement is, the stronger the associated side effects are. So with Valerian Root, there's not much benefit. At the same time, there's not much side effect. Although you may be one of the lucky individuals that actually feel something from the supplement. As per this Reddit anecdote here, somebody mentioned that Valerian Root buzzed them. It gave them an immediate brain and body buzz, and it felt like they had a stiff drink and more. And another individual mentioned that Valerian was a great start for them because their anxiety is now much better, and they're having a serving size which is 475 milligram capsules, and they're having 2 per serving. And so if you're wondering how you should be taking Valerian Root, you may want to consider starting with a serving size between 300 to 600 milligrams, and you would want to consider using it before sleeping. Sometime 30 to 60 minutes before going to sleep is okay. You can also consider using it an hour or 2 before bed, but again, make sure that you're not driving, or really just avoid doing anything that requires cognitive faculties after the ingestion of Valerian Root. Should you take it on an empty stomach? Should you take it in a fed state? I would say it doesn't really matter. Some individuals believe that using Valerian Root in a fasted state helps them to see the benefits far more. However, from my experience, it doesn't make too much of a difference. If you do feel any sort of stomach discomfort, then you may be one of the individuals that should be taking Valerian Root only in a fed state. Though something great is that this is a naturally occurring supplement. It's a herb. It's not man-made. With man-made supplements, we're always concerned in the back of our head, like what this supplement could be doing to potentially harm us in the long run. It is important for you to cycle off every here and there. With Valerian Root, I personally wouldn't use it over 2 months straight. I would more so be comfortable using it in a fashion of 1 month on, followed by 1 week off, and then repeat it that way. But I do think that this is a supplement to take almost every single day. At the same time, though, one of the unique benefits with Valerian Root is that you can use it as needed. So let's say if there's a particular day where you ingested too much caffeine and you need some help falling asleep, then it's totally fine for you to use Valerian Root on that day only. It's not like a supplement that you need to be taking every single day consistently for you to see the effects. I'd love to know your thoughts on Valerian Root in the comment section below. Do subscribe if you found the video informative, and if you want to chat with me one-on-one, you can consider messaging me on Patreon or on Instagram, and be sure to visit our Discord server. We have a 24/7 chat room. We're having a whole lot of fun over there. I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and thank you for your support.